Hello, hello, and welcome back to Password. And yeah, we just talked about the vault and things. Yeah, I think that's what happened with a Dean. So we continued on and searched some of the side rooms just to keep ourselves occupied. Dean didn't say much, and neither did I, at least until lunch. Then, after it was right back to searching, although there was a lot more idle chatter to fill in space, and in our own little world, it almost felt like it was just another quiet day hanging out together. Okay. Okay. I turned off the lights and sat back down on the bed, rubbing my cheeks from where Dean had struck me. Not that I enjoyed being hit, but the more I thought about it, I did think I needed to be snapped out of it, although Dean's strength was probably more than he intended to use. While I didn't like that I was on the verge, on the receiving end, it was nice to know that it was in the worst case situation. I could rely on Dean if we were in trouble. But his absence in bed was another thing entirely, something that I wasn't sure if I was missing because of the situation, or because of how we saw one another. I plugged in my phone and sighed out into my pillow. Oh, excuse me. Thinking things over. Up to vacation where Dean and I had been, confusing, but it was a nice to have no commitments, or rather, have what would had that we had been something unspoken. If I didn't have to worry about it, then great, right? But relationships were harder than I thought. It was more than just a casual friendship, and I just wished that I'd clued in sooner as to how messed up our arrangement was. It wasn't beyond repair, but absolutely something to handle after some sleep. How different is day 17? Because, we hang out with the actual best husbando, Thanatos. Like the majority of the day. Yeah, like it's Thanatos, best boy. Love him. Oh, okay. Couldn't sleep? Something like that. Right, we were out really early in the morning. Right, right. Something like that. Just stuff on my mind, I guess. But it'll work through it. Nothing major, though, I promise. Glad to hear that. You've improved every day, though. Just remember to count on us if you're struggling. I'm not that bad, am I? With how worried we all were about what's been happening, it's just nice to see you not all doom and gloom. Dean, come on, have some tact. What? I didn't mean anything by it. Maybe he just found something to distract him from all the bad stuff. Roswell grumbled to himself, shaking his head as the others came down to join us from the floor above. Okay, we'll just go. We talked to Orlando. Don't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Either way. This conversation... Oh, okay, so the conversation's slightly different. Well, Tyson was acting odd when I found you two. Something going on? And this has something to do with the vault? Maybe. I don't know. It just seems that every time I've gotten something out of it, people have been, odd right before. Sorry. I couldn't say I've noticed, but I'll take your word for it. I just thought he was, back in his old ways. Would he have done something if I hadn't shown up? I was getting a little worked up, sure. Not sure if that's just because I'm fed up with his behavior now, that I, know better, or just, I don't know. As scary as he was, it wasn't like he was a monster or anything. Oh man, remember when I thought it was Monster? I was like, oh, it's Monster, like, and then it was Werewolf, and I was like, what the fuck? So, If he was, you'd probably try something like Wolfsbane. Although, getting him to eat a poisoned cupcake would probably be hard without risking Roswell or Dean eating it first. You try poisoning before anything else? That's, well, I don't own a gun. And you just casually have poison on hand? Well, no. But I might be able to find a silver fork or something around here to, you know. Roswell made a half-hearted stabbing motion while I grunted and rubbed my face. There are plenty of games about taming monsters, and you default to killing them? Easy for you to say. You tamed him already. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to just be nice to someone. You want to go to the road of treating him like a werewolf, whereas, oh, okay, so you treated him like a puppy? I grumbled, quickly looking behind me to see if Tyson was anywhere around to catch that. You know, you're not scared of him, are you? He's not. At least I hope he isn't a werewolf. Would explain a bit, though. If you don't want to annoy him further, I'd probably keep quiet on things like that. I honestly don't know if he'd respond better or worse to that over, well, you know. If he stormed off ages ago, I don't think he'd be wanting to come back here if it was too loud for him earlier either. Think he's cooled off now by now? I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but I don't remember what I said. I'll talk to him. I haven't gotten around to seeing him after I've woken up yet either, so solid maybe, but I guess I'll find out. Well, if you're okay enough to do that, then I won't stop you. Or, if you really want, you could just hang out with me. Room for one more on the beanbag, and there's a player 2 slot with your name on it. Thanks, but I'll pass. I really should check on Tyson, at least once, you know. Just in case. We really should be sticking together. But I guess that's just how it goes. If you change your mind, you'll know where I'll be. Orlando wandered back over to his game, and I nodded to myself, wandering back to my room to mull things over. Well, tell me then. Oh, how did I make Thanatos' voice? Fuck. You have other things, You have other things to do first. Get moving or I'll tell you later. Or, you could tell me now. Well, I guess if, you really want to know, then you'll just have to wait. Isn't that how I made Dave talk? In, not Dave as in password Dave, but Dave from Limits. You know, best boy from that game. Something similar, I think. I wandered out and followed the sound of, oh, okay. No. I mean, fuck off, please. No, something's bothering you, and like, you haven't snapped like this in a long time. What happened? What's wrong? Right, well, I asked before about both of us, so what happens now? We're done. Now you get the joy of seeing if you can make something happen. Wait, what? Wait already? You didn't help by bypassing it. Benson and Oswin might have noticed I'm missing by now. There's a lot left in the day. And I don't care. I have things I need to do, so get moving. Orlando said it. A slight pang ran through my head, and for some reason it made me think I was on the right track. But what was it that he said? What word connects him to Tyson? Werewolf. Whoa, okay.
Accidentally, I would hope. But who knows? It was enough to spook your father and break his resolve in pursuing Memphis. At least at first.
That sounds like Dad, or at least what that I remember him. At least that I remember him. Remember of him. Not wanting to back down, even if he has to take a break from something if it goes wrong. We go. We just go. Oh, okay.
You sure you're okay? I'll bring you dinner in bed if that's what it'll take to get you to rest.
It's began to talk to Tyson.
Well, yeah, you're my brother.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's so this is a shorter episode, right? For what? 11 minutes in? I'm not tacking this on to the previous part. Cuz that would make that part what, like 50 minutes or something? I don't remember. Besides, that just means that's another day I don't have to worry about slotting something into the schedule. But yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch my own videos because I like forgot what half the week. A lot of the stuff from like day 12 to day 16, I don't really remember off the top of my head anymore. At least not like the Tyson specific scenes, because I'm paying attention to those because it's Tyson. Oh my god, that that like every flashback with Tyson where you're like at Dave's house, I'm so there for it. Like I really am. Like I'm so invested in their relationship. I'm wondering if like other characters have like a long-standing relationship like that with Dave. I know that like Roswell and Orlando probably do. And it kind of has me excited to do those routes. Well, maybe not Roswell. I'm probably going to do Roswell last because I'm the least interested in his character. But because I think that's something that like has me a bit off with Dean, is like there really isn't a history between him and Dave. And I'm like, oh, at least their conversations being really about their current relationship. And I guess I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not into the kind of relationship that Dave and Dean have. I thought I would like it. I don't know. I feel like I'm super weird with that, right? Because I'm not super interested in, I'm not into sex, and I don't really have too much of a desire for that. It kind of like makes me go like, like super horny characters either rub me the wrong way, or I find them really charming. Because I'm like, oh, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, hopefully, like, if I ever got with someone who is kind of more horny, I guess, it's like, oh, it balances out since I'm not. Though I guess I still wouldn't partake. Oh, that'd be a terrible relationship, wouldn't it? If I actually did that to somebody. Yeah, I don't know. I still find Dean like I feel like I like Dean as a friend. Like the friend that makes a lot of sex jokes. I think that's kind of fun. But I think that's where I am with Dean. Like, I view him as a friend. I don't know whose route I'm going to do next. I think it's a toss-up between Hoss and Sal. I'm really interested in those characters. Like, I kind of grew pretty attached to Hoss over playing Tyson's route. So, and I think like I was like very distant with Hoss at first. Like I didn't really get, I kind of assumed that he was like generic gay. It's like, oh, he's kind of prissy and he cares about his looks. But like actually spending some of those extra scenes with him, I'm like, oh, you're kind of like conniving in a really fun way. Yeah. He's also a dirty weeaboo, so we'd have a lot to talk about. We'd probably argue a lot. I feel like because I was kind of trying to do an art major in community college, like I'm kind of pretentious when it comes to art. And that makes me have a really low opinion of modern anime. And I feel like Haas and I might clash with that, right? Like, he'd be like, I love Fate, and I'm like, oh, Fate is so trash. Like, and he'd be super into JoJo, and I'd be like, read the manga. Because I don't really like the JoJo anime, but I do like reading the manga. And I'd probably be like, we gotta watch some boomer shit there, Haas. Like, allow me to show you 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam, one of the greatest television series to ever be created. I kind of mean that, because I do really like that series. And we'd have to watch some Getter Robo. You know, it's good. Also, read the manga for Getter, because it's 10 out of 10. Oh my god, love Getter. But I feel like this is just turning into me rambling to get this to a normal spot. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna take another break from this game. I think it kind of depends. I don't know. The schedule's starting to get real weird. Just because, mostly Echo. Man, this is gonna date when I'm recording this. Because poor old Darian has a real weird schedule right now, so we can't record too much. And so there's probably going to be like a empty spot in the schedule, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that, so oh well. I'll think of something. I'll think of something. But yeah, I think that'll do it. I never know how to end these videos, or start them for that matter. I'll get there one day, guys. Be patient with me. I'm not the greatest person in the world, so hope I see you around.